Hello Scorpio, today's tarot reading is an overview of the year between your birthday in 2023 and your birthday in 2024. Astrologically, your birthday marks the start of a brand new year, so it is a perfect time to check in with a yearly forecast. This reading is time stamped into 12 mini tarot readings, one for each area of life shown in your astrology birth chart. And at the end, we'll also cast the astrology dice to see which of these areas are most significant for you in the coming year. You can watch the whole reading or skip to the areas of life that interest you at the moment. You can always return as your concerns change throughout the year. I do upload readings every week for each of the zodiac signs. So if you enjoy today's reading, please do subscribe to get notified of your regular weekly content. Right, okay, let's have a look. So here's an overview. We've got a major here for each area of life. We'll check into the details of these in a little bit more detail. Right, okay, so you'll be happy to hear, Scorpio, that the eclipses that have affected your sign over the last 18 months are actually drawing to a close with this full moon on the 20th of October. It's actually an eclipse, so you'll be free of those cosmic curveballs you've been having by May 2024. Having a new or full moon in your birthday is a rare occurrence and signifies an important year ahead. If your birthday is around the 28th, that full moon eclipse indicates a year of tidying up loose ends in preparation for a new phase of life. If it's your birthday around about the 13th of November, you have the new moon in your solar return chart. When you look back on this year, you'll see this as a year that changed your identity or purpose. Right, okay, so let's have a quick overview then of each area, and then we'll take in more detail. Right, so first house, body, purpose, identity. We've got the devil energy here. Devil energy talks about sort of releasing ourselves from the things that pull our strings, understanding where we give our power away. Second house, resources, earned income, skills and abilities. We've got the star energy. With the star, this does talk about healing, so there is a healing here to that area of your life. It also talks about being able to get onto your path, finding your purpose. So for some of you, there may be a sense here of really kind of getting onto your path with regards to your skills, your abilities, and income, resources. Third house, communication, siblings, local areas, local neighborhood, commuting, that kind of thing. We've got the tower. The tower brings in disruption. It destabilizes the status quo. This can actually have practical physical effects on our life, or it could talk about a massive sort of shift in perspective. Fourth house, home, roots, ancestors. We've got the strength card. The strength card talks about stepping up in our courage, having strength and adapting to difficult situations. Fifth house, romance. Oh, hello. Romance, creativity, leisure pursuits, that kind of thing. We've got the Hierophant. The Hierophant talks about commitments. It can also talk about spirituality. Okay, so committed, some kind of commitment or orthodoxy there. Okay, sixth house. Sixth house, health routines, day-to-day regimes, that kind of thing. Also can bring in our day-to-day work. We've got the Hermit. The Hermit is an energy of actively withdrawing to contemplate how we want to move forward. Seventh house talks about our one-to-one connections, committed connections, whether this is personal or professional. The seventh house is the marriage card and committed connections. We've got the High Priestess here. Some kind of intuitive download, intuitive wisdom, access to untapped information, Akashic records. Seventh house, oh sorry, right, sixth, seven, eighth, eighth house, right, okay, so the area of life that has to do with intimacy, shared resources, unearned income. We've got the Hanged Man. This can be a little bit of a stasis energy. On the surface it may look like nothing's moving, but the Hanged Man does also bring in a sense of seeing things from a different perspective. Maybe some intuitive downloads here coming into you. Right, okay, so where are we up to? 6, 7, 8, ninth house, spirituality, higher learning. The ninth house is all about exploring our understanding of the world. We do this through we do this through higher learning, long distance travel, spirituality, faith, that kind of thing. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. There's absolutely an up leveling here for you. Can talk about divine timing. Wheel of Fortune, changing circumstances. 10th house, fantastic, Scorpio. Okay, 10th house relates to our public status, our career, how the world at large sees us. This is different to our ascendant. The 10th house talks about our public reputation. We've got the sun energy. This is fantastic. The sun is the happiest card in the deck. The sun in astrology also relates to our purpose. The reason, if you believe in reincarnation, our sun is why we choose to incarnate, the purpose that we bring with us. So for many of you, with this sitting in your 10th house, your area of career, public reputation, there could be a real alignment this year for you with regards to what it is that you want to do, you know, who you want to be, how you want to be seen. And certainly with this earned income, resources, this star energy in your 2nd house, skills, ability, income, that kind of thing, that is looking very good. I think certainly working area is looking good. And with this where is it, yeah, with the Hermit as well in your 6th house, day to day, there's a real understanding here of how it is that you want to move forward. The light in the Hermit's in the Hermit's lantern is this star energy. Right, okay, 11th house. Right, 11th house talks about long-term goals and causes. It talks about our groups, our social networks. With this world energy here, there may be some karmic lessons here coming to you with regards to those things. The World card also talks about closing out big cycles, so you may well be waving adios to some kind of groups or communities that you belong to, or changing up and really sort of changing your long-term goals, ambitions, and the causes that you belong to. Okay, 12th house, the last and final house that we find in an astrology chart, is it talks about transcending boundaries. It can talk about sort of escapism. We've got the judgment call here, so it looks like some of you are absolutely answering a call to transcend, you know, to overcome any boundaries or obstacles. The 12th house is also quite a spiritual, sort of metaphysical house. So for some of you, there may be a call here, but whatever this call is for you, we'll look at that in a moment. You're absolutely answering it. Right, let's have a look then. So, shall we try and adjust this camera a little bit so we can focus a little bit more on you? Right, let's bring this devil front and center. Okay, let's move these. Over. Right, okay, so we're going to start off with your 1st house. Pardon me while I just reset. Right, turn these over. This is the first time I've done the reading this way, so I hope Scorpios love a bit of change, so I hope it all goes well. Please pardon me if it all goes a bit wrong, but there we go. Got to try these new things, haven't you? Right, okay, so right, 1st house then. Identity, purpose, physical body. We've got this devil energy here. The devil energy talks about, as I say, it's the things that pull our strings with this devil energy. So with regards to who you feel that you are, why you think you're here, your physical appearance, it does look like there is a sense here of having your strings pulled, seeing why you're giving your power away. Whether this is to your own patterns of behavior, other people, situations. The devil energy just can talk about dependencies, but this is you know, sort of substances and that kind of thing. So with regards to that area of life, your 1st house, there's definitely an understanding here of what it is that's pulling your strings, why you're giving your power away. So let's have a look at the situation and the opportunity for you. Right, so we've got 10 of Wands. Yeah, done is done. 6 of Wands. Okay, so with the 10 of Wands, absolutely, this talks about burdens, releasing our burdens, feeling exhausted, the things that are pulling your strings, the things that you're giving your power away to. This year is an opportunity for you to understand where you're overburdened and to release that. And with this beautiful 6 of Wands, this does bring in a much more stable situation, but the 6 of Wands does talk about victory, recognition, success. So it looks like with regards to your identity, your purpose, your physical body, you're absolutely shedding the burdens of the things that pull your strings and moving towards greater success, recognition in your life. Right, okay, so let me just make a note of that before we move on to resources, earned income, that kind of thing. So we've got the 6 of Wands. I need to reuse those cards. So we've got the 10 of Wands, 6 of Wands, right? Just so I can refer back to that when we do the dice for you. Okay, let's pop these back in. Okay, so Scorpio, let's have a look at your second house then. So we've got this star energy. So the second house is earned income, your material resources. It also talks about skills and abilities. With this star energy, there's absolutely a healing here. The star comes in after the tower's been through and swept out changes, caused sort of upending, uproar. It puts us back on our feet, gets us on our path, brings in a lot of healing. So that's amazing. So let's have a look at this situation and the opportunity here for you with regards to earned income, resources, skills and ability with this beautiful healing star energy. So situation, we've got judgment. So it does look like there is absolutely a call here, answering a call, knowing what needs to be done and following through. And opportunity, wow, Queen of Wands, absolutely beautiful. Queen of Wands is really, it's very attractive energy, gets what she wants by attracting it to her. It's absolutely beautiful. The Queen of Wands is a very creative energy. So with regards to earning income, that kind of thing, with this Queen of Wands energy, there's a lot of creativity with that, being able to attract the things in that you need. With this judgment energy and this healing, getting back on your path, I do think there's going to be a decision here for you with regards to resources, skills, abilities, what it is that you want to do, what it is that's going to attract in your best life. So let's just make a note of that before we move on to your third house, which talks about communication, siblings, local neighbourhood. So we've got the Queen of Wands and we've got judgment. Sorry, I just need to make a note. So when we do the dice in a little minute. Right, so third house then, what have we got? Oh, we've got this tower. Disruption, liberation, being free from the things that impede your growth. So yeah, so with the third house, this talks all about communication. It can be our siblings, as I was saying, commuting, day-to-day, travelling. Also talks about early education, early schooling as well. So hang on, she's just popped out. Hang on, I've not shuffled, just realised I've not shuffled from your second house. Right, okay, so tower, third house. I've just realised my brother's a Scorpio. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my crikey, I hope that tower's not me. Oh, right, let's hope for something good with this tower. What's the situation? We've got the Hanged Man, okay, and the opportunity here, we've got justice. Interesting, right, okay, so these disruptions, this liberation to the things that are impeding the growth, the situation with this Hanged Man, there is a bit of a stasis energy. It can talk about You know, on the surface it looks like nothing's going on, but there's actually a lot more going on than meets the eye. The Hanged Man can also talk about hanging around, seeing things from a different perspective. The Hanged Man kind of climbs up the tree and hangs himself by his foot to see things from. So the situation here, it may look like something's not moving forwards, but the opportunity here with this Hanged Man, this is all about bringing in balance. With the Justice energy, this talks about doing the right thing. For some of you, it may be with this Justice energy, there may be sort of legal proceedings, that kind of thing. But Justice is all about harmony, balance, doing the right thing, getting things as they should be. Right, okay, so that's the third. So let me just make a note of that. So I can just, before we move on to your home and roots. Okay, so fourth house then. Fourth house, we've got, let's have a look, what have we got for the fourth house? So we've got strength. Okay, so the fourth house talks about our home, our physical home. It can talk about our foundations. You know, what's our base like? For us to excel in the world, we need a strong and steady foundation. The fourth house also talks about our ancestors, our roots. You can also bring in elements of the subconscious as well, if we're doing work in that area of the psyche and the unconscious and that kind of thing. So with this strength energy, with regards to home, ancestors, roots, that kind of thing, this talks about adapting, standing in your courage, adapting to difficult situations, being strong, standing in your courage. So let's have a look at the home situation for you then. Got the Queen of Wands energy. We saw her. Where did she come out? She actually came out in your resources, skills and abilities. So there may be some link here between your second and your fourth. So with this Queen of Wands in the home environment, this is a very, very warm, creative environment, attracting in the things that you need. Some of you may have a Queen of Wands energy in your home environment, that this is there's a sense of strength here from this Queen of Wands that's needed. And let's have a look at the opportunity. We've got the Judgment energy. So there's absolutely some kind of decision, making a call, answering a call with regards to your physical home, your roots, your foundations, your ancestors. As I say, with this Queen of Wands, there may be a particular figure, either in your home or within your ancestor, your lineage, that kind of thing, or somebody that you want to build a foundation with. And with this Judgment energy, this does talk about making a call, hearing the call, answering the call, making a judgment. With this being a major arcana, this is quite a big decision for you. Right, okay, so let's just make a note of that then before we move on to your fifth house, which is romance and creativity. Right, okay, so let me just shuffle these cards properly. Make sure we're not, this is quite this beautiful deck. It's an independent deck, but the cards are actually quite sticky. You have to get two together. Right, let's just give these a good old shuffle. Right, okay, so right, next up then we've got the fifth house, and the fifth house is romance. The fifth house is all about the things that we do for fun, romance, leisure pursuits, creativity. The fifth house is also an area where if we have children, that's where they kind of come into that area. So with this commitment here, this Hierophant, the Hierophant can talk about committed connections. The Hierophant in romantic situations can talk about weddings, marriage, that kind of thing. With regards to creativity and other things, the Hierophant is also a spiritual energy. It could be a spiritual guru, a spiritual teacher, or possibly you're finding a lot of fun or creativity within regards to spiritual pursuits, faith, that kind of thing. Right, let's have a look. So what's the opportunity with this Hierophant? What's the situation and what's the opportunity, please? There's the situation. We've got the Ten of Wands. Right, okay, so the Ten of Wands does talk about feeling overburdened, understanding that maybe you need to simplify your life. And the opportunity for you then, Eight of Pentacles, fantastic. So with regards to this 5th house area, there's absolutely an opportunity here for you to find something that you love doing. With the Eight of Resources, this talks about things of value, things that we want to sink our resources into. Eat, sleep, work, repeat. It could be for you that with this eight of Pentacles, this is often the work card. So it may be that there's an opportunity here for you to turn a creative endeavor, a creative project into something that is going to provide an income. That's amazing, isn't it? But it's absolutely all about finding something that you love enough to be able to eat, sleep, work, repeat it. Right, okay, so let's just make a note of that then before we move on to your 6th house, which is daily routines and health regimes. So we've got 10 of Wands and we've got the 8 of Pentacles. Need to just make a note of that. So when we look at the astrology dice, I can remember what we were talking about. Right, let's have a look. So, 6th house then. So 6th house. So let's have a look at your 6th house then. So 6th house talks about your daily routines, health regimes. Let's have a look. So we've got the Hermit here. So the Hermit is an energy of actively withdrawing, going in, and having a look to see what it is that we want to use to guide our life forward. The light in his lantern is the star card. This is what is our true path. You know, what do I want to do moving forward? With the Hermit energy, this can, while we do this work, while we try and get this deep dive, there is a period of emotional, mental or physical withdrawal. Not necessarily all of them, but there is a time of sort of contemplation to understand what the right thing moving forward is. So yeah, so let's have a look. Let's have a look at your opportunity, the situation and the opportunity for your 6th house. What have we got? So opportunity, 5 of Cups. Interesting. So that's the situation. Sorry, opportunity. We've got the Queen of Cups. Okay. So with regards to 6th house areas, with the 5 of Cups, this does talk about emotional disappointment. Something's gone wrong, and there is a feeling here of you know, feeling a little bit, maybe focusing on the difficult things. It does look like, however, often with the 5 of Cups, a situation that has gone wrong, we've always got 2 standing up, so there is still something a lot of the time when we're disappointed, or you know, we experience an emotional disappointment, there's often something within the situation that can still be salvaged. We've got these 2 standing upright. The 2 of Cups is often that perfect match energy. So it does look like, with regards to your 6th house energy, your work, your day-to-day routines, health regimes, that kind of thing, there may be some disappointment here. But there is an opportunity to salvage something, and the opportunity, we've got the Queen of Cups, which is amazing. The Queen of Cups is that link between our emotional wisdom and how we act, what we think about, that kind of thing. The Queens are often a card of status. So through disappointment, there may be an opportunity here with regards to your work or your regimes to really kind of level up. The Queen of Cups, I mean, this energy could also be coming in manifesting as a person. With the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Cups can be romantic partners, could be somebody with strong water or Cancerian energy in their chart. But there's absolutely, through disappointment here, going in, having a little bit of a think about what needs to be done, what's true for you moving forward. It does look like the opportunity here for you is to really kind of level up in this area of your life, gain a real level of mastery that you can actually use day to day. So that's pretty cool. Right, okay, so let's just make a note of that. So we've got the Five of Cups, we've got the Queen of Cups. So I'll know when we do your dice. Right. Okay, so let's put them back in the deck. So the 7th house then. Right. Let's have a look. Okay, so 7th house. We've got this High Priestess energy. The High Priestess talks about our intuitive wisdom, access to the Akashic records, unknown wisdom. It can also talk about passivity. So in this 7th house area, this is committed one-to-one partnerships, or these are the people that we form one-to-one partnerships with. So obviously it could be our spouses. It could also be business contracts or people that we have services from or receive, or give services to. So High Priestess could be sort of passivity, intuitive wisdom, intuitive knowledge. Let's have a look for you. So opportunity, the situation then, we've got the Death card. That's your energy there, Scorpio. Opportunity, Hierophant. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay. So the situation with this Death card, as I say, this is the major arcana for Scorpio. But the Death card talks about transformation. It talks about transforming one thing to another, clearing out old things, leaving space for new things, making space for new good things to come in. And it is coming in with the Hierophant, which is the card of commitment. So this to me looks like there is a sense here with the 7th house. There may be passivity here for you around changing up situations to get to a point where you commit, or changing up your contractual commitments. So there may be passivity, or there could also, with this High Priestess, depending how you use it, there could be an intuitive knowledge here that you need to change things up in order to commit or change up your current commitment. So that's interesting. Normally the 7th house stuff are things that actually come with a contract. So that would be a marriage, business or employment contracts, that kind of thing. Okay, so interesting. The Death card, as I say, the Death card is also the Scorpio major arcana. So this is there's a lot of energy here around your own Scorpio identity, commitments. What are you committed to, Scorpio? Right, okay, where can you commit? Right, let's have a look then. Let's get into your 8th house, which talks about intimacy. It's also unearned income and shared resources. So we've got this Hanged Man energy. I thought I'd seen the Hanged Man. We saw the Hanged Man come out earlier. Where did we see the Hanged Man? 3rd house. They have shared income or resources with siblings, maybe. Okay, so intimacy, shared resources, unearned income. Let's have a look. So with this Hanged Man energy, that's that sort of stasis. Looks like things maybe aren't maybe moving along. The Hanged Man can also bring in a sense of seeing things from a different perspective, having a change of view on something, seeing things from another's perspective. So intimacy, shared resources and earned income. Situation, we've got the Emperor. Opportunity. Oh, hello. Is that the two sisters together? Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Interesting. So the situation with this Emperor, the Emperor is all about setting rules and structures to things. It can talk about authority, being the authority, having autonomy in our life. If this is intimacy with the Emperor, we do have a divine masculine, a divine counterpart here, whether this is male or female, you or your other person. And we've got the Eight of Pentacles. So the opportunity with this Eight of Pentacles does talk about, if this is romantic, could also be coming in a business or a shared resources, looking at this as well. So there's actually two ways this could be going for you, Scorpio. If this is about intimacy, then we've got this divine masculine energy here, and with this Eight of Pentacles, this talks about finding worth, finding value. What is it that you want to sink your shared resources into? By resources, time, effort, energy, love, money. For some of you with this 8th house, this unearned income, shared resources, this may well be some kind of business venture, because the Emperor can point to business companies. Eight of Pentacles, we've got, this is that working energy, resources, that kind of thing. So that's really interesting. So there may be a little bit of a stasis energy, seeing things from a different perspective with regards to your shared resources, unearned income and intimacy. But it looks like there's absolutely an ability here to set a structure, set a foundation that is going to going to get you to a point where you want to sink all of your resources into this the shared enterprise, seeing things from a different perspective, whether these resources are your time, your effort, your energy, your love, or your money. Interesting. Okay, so let me just make a note of those before we move on to your 9th house, which talks about spirituality, exploring the world. Let me just make a note of those, so when we pull the dice, I know what I'm talking about. Right, okay, so 9th house then. Let's there we go. Right, okay, so with the 9th house energy, 9th house, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune talks about changing circumstances, adapting to situations, absolutely an up-leveling here. Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fate. Let's have a look. So 9th house talks about it talks about how we explore the world, how our understanding of the world. It's sort of higher learning that we do through higher education, traveling, kind of access to different or foreign cultures, that kind of thing. Also talks about faith, spirituality. It's a real sort of, it's all about our belief systems and what we understand to be true of the world. Right, okay, so let's have a look at the situation within your 9th house. We have got the Hanged Man. Hanged Man again. There's a bit of hangmanning going on. We've seen him a couple of times so far. But with regards to with regards to spirituality, this is, oh, fantastic. We've got the 6 of Cups. Right, okay. So with this Hanged Man energy, the Hanged Man can always bring in that pause, that stasis. Looks like nothing's going on. There may be, if you've got plans for traveling, then there may be some delay or a pause here with regards to travel. The Hanged Man also talks about seeing things from a different perspective. So this, if your 9th house is more of a spiritual area for you, spirituality, understanding of the world, this Hanged Man does talk about, seeing things from a different perspective. Now, the opportunity here for you, we've got the 6 of Cups, which is beautiful. This is some sort of soulmate energy, heart chakra energy. When we see the Six of Cups in a reading, this talks about things that there is a profound attachment, there's a profound emotional resonance with these things. These can be things that we've either been attached to since childhood, or we knew in our childhood. There's a lot of nostalgia here with this Six of Cups energy. For some of you, there may be a change. If this is talking about your spirituality, your faith, that kind of thing, there may be a shift away from your childhood faith or spiritual learning or education as you move on to something that there's a greater resonance. But certainly with this Six of Cups energy, there's a lot of nostalgia and emotional resonance, emotional happiness with regards to this changing fortune, this changing circumstances within this ninth house area for you. Right, okay, so let's just make a note of that. So we've got the Hanged Man again, and we've got the Six of Cups. Okay, we'll speak about that if this comes out as an important area of life for you when we throw the dice. Okay, so moving on to your 10th house, which is status, career. Your sort of your public status, your career. So 10th house then, public status, career, just making a note of the time. Sorry, we've got this Sun energy. This is amazing. Sun energy, happiest card in the deck. It speaks of positivity, profound happiness, clarity. As I said in the intro, the Sun in astrology does talk about our purpose in life, why we're here, who it is that we're learning to be. So with this in your career house, or your public status, there is a lot of happiness with regards to your career, public perception of you, and many of you may well be coming into a career or a life direction that really resonates and fulfills your sense of purpose, why it is that you feel that you've incarnated. But there's a lot of happiness here, a lot of joy, a lot of illumination with regards to your career and public status. You could be really in the spotlight in the coming year, Scorpio. Right, let's have a look then. Oh, what have we got? Page of Cups is the situation. And then opportunity for you. Six of Wands, beautiful. Okay. So amazing. Absolutely amazing. I think this is going to be an absolutely cracking year for work for you. Definitely positive reinforcement here with regards to your second house of resources, your sixth house of daily routines and general working energy. And we also saw that sort of working Emperor energy in the 8th house, shared resources, that kind of thing. So I think there could be a lot of success here for you with regards to your career, your public status this year, Scorpio. Situation, we've got the Page of Cups. Page of Cups talks about following our intuition, following our instincts, developing with the Cups. This is all about emotional satisfaction, our happiness. So I think with regards to your status, your career, there's definitely a vibe here. You are definitely developing your sense of satisfaction, you know, the emotional satisfaction and resonance that you get from what it is that you do, or the feedback that you're receiving. And with this is incredible, with this Six of Wands, which is the opportunity. Six of Wands is recognition, victory, success, people believing, you know, that you can succeed. Six of Wands, sometimes it's a sort of a leadership energy. It's like, I know what I'm doing, follow me, I know where we're going. Absolutely fantastic. So I think really, looking at this, Scorpio, I think with regards to your people, you know, sort of your public status, your public reputation, in your career this year, absolutely, you've got sort of leaps and strides coming on. There's a lot of developing of emotional happiness, resonance, that's really going to lead to recognition, success. That's absolutely fantastic. Okay, just make a note of that for if this 10th house comes up with the dice. We've got Page of Cups, and we've got the Six of Wands. Okay. Hopefully I can read my own shorthand. So we're moving on to your 11th house, which talks about your groups, your networks, your communities, the causes that you belong to. Also talks about your long-term goals and ambitions. Right. Okay, so let's have a look then. So for your 11th house, which is the groups, networks, that kind of thing, we've got the World card for the 11th house, closing out cycles within your groups, your long-term goals, the causes that you belong to. Maybe some karmic lesson here for you also within those within that area of life. Let's have a look at the situation and the opportunity for you. Scorpio, 11th house, groups, networks, goals, causes. What have we got? The 5 of Cups. Okay, so there's definitely something disappointing here for you, hence the closing out. Or this could be disappointment about a connection to a group, a cause, or a long-term goal. Being a disappointment, you know, it terminating, and there being a sense of loss with that. Opportunity for you though, you have got the Page of Pentacles. Okay, I think whatever it is you're closing out with regards to your long-term goals, or your groups or your networks, well, there may be a sense of disappointment or loss. As I was saying earlier, the 5 of Cups, while there is disappointment, there's almost always something that can be salvaged from the situation, some nugget that we can carry moving forward. And looking at this, the opportunity here for you, we've got the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles, Pentacles is all about resources. Can be money, but with resources for me, it talks about our skills and abilities. Anything that we use to navigate through life. And with the page, this is like a kind of a learner energy. There's some new opportunity that comes out of this disappointment that you got with this closing out groups or goals, you know, sort of moving on. There is actually a tangible opportunity that's going to come from this. And this is probably something that you haven't had a lot to do with in the past with the page. This is like sort of training wheels. You know, sort of learning and moving on. Often it's the student energy for some of you, maybe some kind of education here. But this is sort of a small amount of resources, planting them, growing them. So this could be a part-time gig for you, some kind of course or study or learning, or something that's really sort of tangible that you want to plant and grow. So there's absolutely a little acorn coming out of an old dead tree here, something that's been disappointing, but there is absolutely an opportunity to salvage something which will actually bring some kind of tangible results or benefits, which sort of leads into some kind of long-term stability. So that's pretty cool. Right, okay, so we've got the 5 of Cups and we've got the Page of Pentacles. Let's move on then to the final house before we draw your dice. And the 12th, we've got the 12th house here. So with the 12th house talks about closing cycles. It talks about a sort of transcending boundaries, overcoming, you know, boundaries. It's also quite a spiritual, quite a mystical house. If we have a lot of 12th house placements, often we're able to sort of tap in, we transcend the boundaries between the seen and the unseen. So with regards to 12th house boundaries, it looks like there's definitely some judgment here for you with regards to your boundaries in life, or what it is that you want to transcend, what it is that you want to escape. The 12th house talks about escapism also. So there's definitely a judgment call here, hearing the call and answering the call with regards to your boundaries. Right, so let's have a look. So situation then, we've got 12th house. Oh, hang on. You've got 6 of Wands. Okay, So whatever this judgment here is, this judgment with regards to your boundaries is actually coming in because of some kind of recognition or success. So this feels to me like experiencing some kind of victory or success, recognition, and then saying, right, okay, this is sort of, you know, I'm transcending my own limitations. I'm transcending the limitations that I previously had with this success and victory. Amazing. And then opportunity here. We've got that Queen of Wands. We saw her earlier. Where did she pop up? She popped up in your resources, didn't she? And also home. Yeah, so she popped up in your 2nd and your 4th house. So with this Queen of Wands, the court cards can always be people. So maybe somebody specific here that's got a bearing on what's going on here for you. Queen of Wands is often a fire sign. This is somebody who's very sort of passionate, attractive, attracts in the things that she wants. She doesn't necessarily go pursuing them, but she attracts them in. The Queen of Wands also has a level of status with regards to businesses, anything kind of creative. But this is a very, very sort of creative, very, very creative energy. You could well be making some judgments here about a specific person in your life, transcending a boundary with them. The Queen of Wands is often somebody, if this is a romantic partner, this is somebody where there's a lot of attraction, but maybe not that level of commitment. Is that boundary for you? We did see a lot of activity in your 7th house, didn't we, with this Hierophant energy. So there may be a judgment here for some of you with regards to marriage or commitments coming up over the year. Right, okay, so that's us through the 12 houses. I hope you're with me so far. As I say, it's the first time I've done it like this. So it's a little bit of a learning experience. If you want to give me some feedback on ways I could maybe tighten this up, please do let me know in the comments below. As I say, it's the first time I've done it. This is what I normally do with an astrology solar return chart, so I've just adapted that and thrown in some tarot. Right, okay, we're going to do the dice now, aren't we? So right, let's have a look. Right, okay. So when we have a solar return done with astrology, in your solar return, there are certain placements that note a particular things of importance. So with the inner planets and the social planets, that can indicate specific things. So what we're going to do is we're going to go by planet and see which area of life, okay, to see which is important. So the areas of life that come up with planets in them are very particularly significant this year for you. And if you get more than one planet in one house, then it's really important. Obviously you will have areas of life. I'm only doing 7 planets. I'm doing the personal and the social planets. So there's only 7 of those. So you will have areas that don't come up as particularly, that are massively significant. So let's have a look. So with the sun then, the sun talk about where is your focus, what's the main focus, and certainly what will be in focus around in your birthday month. We've got the 5th house, okay? So the 5th house is romance, creativity, leisure pursuits, that kind of thing, things that we do for fun, also children. Okay, so the 5th house is going to be very important, a real important area of focus. There's going to be a lot of focus on that, particularly around your birthday month. So if you want to check out your 5th house with regards to your sun, that's probably a good place to start. The solar return is all about the sun. Right, okay, so let's move on to the moon. With the moon talks about, in our solar return chart, it talks about the area of life. The moon's very sort of waxing energy. So the moon is always the area of life where there's a lot of sort of instability or a very sort of changeable energy. So let's have a look. Most changeable area of life for you this year, Scorpio. 7th house. Okay, I'm seeing a theme with this. The 7th house is Committed connections. So we've got romance as a focus, and then with this 7th house we've got committed connections. So there is definitely some big changes or erraticness with regards to your committed connections. This can be any type of committed connection. So this can be marriage, it can be business partnerships, people that receive services from or give services to. So there's a lot of fluctuation here within your 7th house energies. Okay, so next one then, so we want to have a look at Mercury. Where we go, where we're going. So Mercury is all about what we're thinking about, where our minds are, our communication, that kind of thing over the coming year. So where's your mind at? What are you thinking about? Normally in an astrology chart you would have Mercury fairly close to where your sun is. But this is a tarot reading, so let's have a look to see for Scorpio. 2nd house. Okay, so it does look like there is going to be a lot of thought here with regards to your resources, earned income, skills, abilities, that kind of thing. So we'll be thinking. Also, for those of you who are looking to earn an income with Mercury, your mind and communication could be important with regards to earning income. Mind communication could be an important resource for you this year. Right, okay, so next one then, we're only doing 7 of these. Next one, so we've got Venus. Okay, so Venus then can talk about where we can earn. It also talks about what we value, and for those on a path for romance, it can also indicate where you know, where we might find love. So the area of life that has a lot of value here, or possibly where you might be able to find love if you're looking for romance. So have a look, Venus, what you'll be valuing this year. 11th house. Okay, so 11th house is that group energy. Long-term ambitions, groups, connections, social networks, that kind of thing. We did see that closing out energy, didn't we? We saw that closing out cycle, disconnecting with this 11th house and starting something new. So that's interesting. Right, okay, so move on to Mars. Mars in our astrology chart talks about where we'll be taking action, how we take action, what we are inclined to kind of put effort into. So let's have a look at the area of life for you over the 12 months where you'll be putting in a lot of effort, a lot of action. 11th house, okay. So that group energy, long-term goals is going to be very significant for you. We've got Venus and Mars. So Mars, with Venus and Mars, we've got that sort of yin yang, masculine, feminine, passive, active energy. So you'll definitely be acting on what you value with both the Sun and Venus, with both Mars and Venus in your 11th house of groups, long-term ambitions. And as I say, we did see that World Major Arcana, so there's definitely what did we have in the 11th? Oh yeah, in the 11th, so we had the World, didn't we? Which is that closing out karmic cycles, but it came in with the 5 of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. So that was actually planting new seeds after some kind of disappointment, salvaging. So a lot of action here with regards to your groups, your communities, social networks and long-term goals this year. And then, so what have we got after Mars? We have got, hang on, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Right, okay, so we're on to Jupiter. So Jupiter is all about expansion. So which area of life are we going to experience? Are you going to experience expansion this year? Now with Jupiter, this can be pretty quick expansion. So if you're doing Jupiterian stuff, if you're playing with your Jupiter, make sure you dot the I's and cross the T's. But yeah, Jupiter's all about luck, where you're going to be lucky, where you're going to see expansion. 12th house, okay. 12th house, that is that sort of transcending boundaries, closing out cycles. What did we see in the 12th? Oh, I haven't made a note. I knew that would happen. But yeah, there was, I think the 12th was quite significant. Did we have that death in it? I can't remember now. I can't remember. So yeah, so expansion in the 12th house. This talks about our ability to transcend boundaries, overcoming. Oh, we had that victory, recognition, and successful. You didn't we? Absolutely amazing. So 12th house is going to be an area of expansion. It's also quite a sort of esoteric, psychic kind of field. So you might be getting expansion within your intuitive or your spiritual abilities. And then the last one, we've got Saturn. Right, Saturn is where we have Saturn talks about, well, it's basically with Saturn, you have to work for everything you get, and you don't always get everything that you work for. So Saturn is all about sort of growing up. The universe can bring in restrictions, but the flip side of that, with this Saturn, there is an ability here to really start to exert authority, mastercraft, that kind of thing. So let's have a look, see where we've got Saturn. So this is really kind of earning your stripes. Oh, 7th house. Okay. Yeah, so with regards to the 7th house, with Saturn, we've seen a lot of activity in this area of committed connections. So with this Saturn, with this 7th house, this can be actually be forming long-term bonds, long-term commitments. For some of you, you may be working hard on them, but also restricting, restricting them also. So. Right, okay. I think we through everything. How long's that? Oh my goodness me, that's nearly an hour. There we go. I hope you have enjoyed your reading. I do upload new readings every week. So I'll see you next week for another reading. In the meantime, feel free to catch up with your current season trilogy, romance specials, or quarterly career readings. I wish you clear eyes, calm mind, and a resilient heart. Happy birthday.